Welcome to Divine Touch Technologies, where you find CorelDraw videos, tools, and also learning tutorials. We have started with the CorelDraw workspace. We've also gone through CorelDraw Pick Tools, and we've also seen CorelDraw Shape Tools. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss our future episodes and recordings. So today I'll be going through crop tools. As we all know, crop tools are very important tools in designing and especially CorelDraw. So today I'll be going through the crop tools and how we use crop tools. So the list that I have here is tools that are under the crop tool part. As you can see here, it is the third one in the list, that is in the toolbox. So if we click on it, as you can see, we have the fly out, this black part that we have here. If we click on it, we get access to the four tools that we are talking about today. That is the crop tool, we have the knife tool, we have also the virtual segment delete tool, then eraser tool. Today let's go through the four tools. Crop tool. The crop tool lets us remove the unwanted part in an object. Let's say you have an object that you want to remove some unwanted parts in the graphic. Crop tool will assist you in doing that. Number two, we have the knife tool. The knife tool lets you slice objects, group of objects, and also bitmap along the path you specify. We'll see that in detail. The third one, we have the eraser tool. The eraser tool lets you remove areas of your drawing by erasing some parts of it. Last one, we have the virtual segment delete tool. The virtual segment delete tool lets you delete portions of objects that are between intersections. As we all know, we need to find and also see where we have these crop tools or where we can locate them. So the third option in the toolbox is the crop tool. We have it here, then we have a screenshot of the same here. Let's magnify that. So as you can see, we have this tool here, one being the crop tool, followed by the knife tool. The third one is the virtual segment tool, then the eraser tool. Allow me to go through them one by one, starting with the crop tool. We have some symbols here that we will be using. Let me click on the first one. We'll make a copy so that we use it to demonstrate. Again, if you have your machine around, please use the desired image that you have in your computer to learn the same tool. I'll also magnify on the same. When we use this image here, let's first select on the crop tool, then let's say we need to cut the rest of the part and remain with maybe the top. How will we achieve that? We achieve that by drawing a rectangular over it. That is it. When we draw a rectangular like this, so as you can see, we want to cut off the rest of this part remaining with the two leaves at the top. So I click inside here, then if I want to rotate it, I grab the handles at the each and every end of this rectangle, then I rotate it to a desired place so that I can cut at the right place. So when done, I click on this crop tool here, leaving us with this tool here. Again, let me undo that. So if I have not selected any image on the page that we have right now, so if I say I've clicked on this crop tool and then I kind of mark you around where I want to have it remain, the rest of the content that are on the page will also be cropped out. Let's try and do that. As you can see, let me undo that so that we can repeat it the right way. So as you can see, we have this part that we've kind of marked around it. We've clicked the crop tool, so we are remaining with this part only. The rest of the part, as I've told you, if you have not selected the item that you want to crop, the rest of the other part that on the page will disappear, meaning that, let me undo that, meaning that the rest of this other content that are on the page will disappear. This means that when we want to crop our graphic or an image on our application, we need first to select the item itself. 2, we click on the crop tool, then we mark you around the part that we want to preserve. As you see on the window that we have here, we have this part that we've selected. That means we will preserve this. The rest of this other part here will disappear. As we click this one here, we remain with this. So as you do that, please make sure that you select the graphic that you want to crop. Not doing that will you will lose the content that you have on your window. So moving to the next example, we have this one here. So let me kind of magnify it again. So if we want also to crop, let's say some parts here or up there, we will click the crop tool over this place, mark you around the area that we want to preserve. Let's say this kind of leaves here. The rest of these other parts will disappear because we have not selected them, meaning we preserve the selection area that we have here. Then we click on it, we preserve that part. The third one is the text that we have on this other area here, which is divine. So let's say I need to remain with VINE. I will kind of mark you around this place, and again the part that we've not selected will not be preserved. So let me repeat it again. I'll first select the text. 2, I go to the crop tool, and then I mark the area that I want to preserve. So I'll also move this a bit, this one up here, and then I click the crop tool. That means we are remaining with the VINE. Something to note when dealing with text or any other image: when you crop the object or a text, after cropping it, it becomes a curve. As you can see, if I click on a curve, as you can see, I'm able to change the shape of this text. Let me undo that. Also this one here, I'm able to do some changes on the text. meaning that after cropping an object, you are turning it into a curve. That is the crop tool. Let's move to the knife tool. The knife tool is found on the same place but the second option. So let me magnify for that. Let me magnify the working area minute. So let me go to this place, mark you around it, magnify it. Sorry for that. So I'll start with the arrow that we have here. Again, as we've seen earlier, the knife tool. The knife tool we have it there, and as you can see, it is used to slice an object or you can split any object into two separate objects, either directly with the gap or an overlap. I'll try that. Then on this property bar, we have options that we'll be using. One that we have here is a 2-point line mode. This 2-point line mode will help us to slice this object here into two by drawing a line across it. Let me do that. So I click on that first part, hold on my left mouse button, and I drag it across the object. As you can see, let me move it downwards. So as you can see, I have moved part of this object down. So let me repeat the process again. Let me undo that. Sorry. So first thing, I click on the object that I want to slice. I select the knife tool. Then starting from up here, I drag across the place that I want to cut. Then at the end of that part there, I release my mouse, click on the pick tool, then I drag a part of it downwards. I will have sliced that particular image. Let's move this one aside here. Let's also click the knife tool, then I slice the circle into two the same way we've sliced our other shape. Then I release the mouse, click the pick tool, click outside the image, then I'll be able to slice this particular image. This other image here, we can do the same, slice it into half. First we select the image, click on the knife tool, then I slice it again into two. I'll slice that. Let's see, that is it. Again, as we work on this, let me undo all of this so that we also see some options. Up here, when we click on this object and also click on the knife, we get access to these tools up here. Let's focus on a freehand mode. The earlier we were using a 2-point whereby you click at the top and then at the bottom of that image. A freehand tool, for example, we will use this graphic here. Let me select it and then magnify it. When we select that and come to the freehand mode, in this way we'll be able to go in a manner that is not straight. In this case, we want to separate the trees and the leaves from the animals. We are able to do that using the freehand mode tool. Let's do that. I'll start from this end and I'll do that here. Still we've not selected that is it, so we do it this way. go this way, then until the end of that particular image. Then let me see, yes, we've separated this and this other one, and let me undo so that we can repeat the same. That is it. Let's also do the same by clicking on the knife tool, activating the freehand tool. This other way we want to remove this the leaves up here. Let's see that is okay. We've removed that particular, so remove this one by going through the same, activating the freehand mode, coming this way, then to this other end, and we'll be able to separate that. Let me repeat. This way we click on this other end, we mark you around that, and let's see if we've accomplished the task using the freehand tool. Virtual segment tool. Virtual segment tool is used in this case to delete. As you can see here, we use it to remove overlapping segments in an object. We use it to remove overlapping segments in an object. And when I say segments, can be this line here crossing this other one. It can be this circle overlapping with another circle. So let me start by going through this graph here, and I'll start by, let me magnify, then I can remove this segment here, this line here, by dragging across it. I'll have deleted that segment. So do mark you over this one here, it will delete that. Then we can also do a section here, it deletes that segment. Again, we can go over here. As you can see, we have deleted a segment here, another segment here, another segment going across. We have another one coming down. Also, this one we can do away with that. As you can see, it is a resourceful or a very important tool when going through using the shapes that we have in our drawing. Going to this other one here, we have a perfect circle. And also, when coming up with logos, when coming up with patterns, this virtual segment is very important. Let me show you. Let me copy this one over here, then let me also grab a section here, then I bring it in, not that way. Let me undo that. Let me grab in this way, that is Betty's a quadrant. Then I also make another copy, I place it down here. So let me see if we can have the same here. Trying to have a quadrant. Let's see. Let me repeat the process. Let's have it there. This other one. Let me hold to, sorry. Let me check this one through here. Let's see if we can get a nice quadrant. This is not the image that I wanted to place there, so bear with me. There it is. Let's have this other one over here. You can have something like that. And at the end of the day, we also use the segment tool, virtual segment tool. Let me show you. Let's say we want to remove this part here and this part here. I'll also do away with this other part here, last one being the down side here. So we are remaining with a nice pattern that we can also duplicate and make it our border. So you can see that will act as a nice border. That is the virtual segment tool. Moving on to the eraser tool. The eraser tool in this case is the last tool in this part here, and as we've seen earlier, eraser tool is used to remove unwanted areas in a drawing. So the moment I click on eraser tool, we have access to some options on the property bar here. We have a round nib, we have a square nib, and also the eraser thickness. If we want it to be bigger than this, we can scroll or input some numbers over there. As you can see, it is becoming bigger, so let's reduce that to 10. That is okay. I'll start by erasing some sections of the circle here. As you can see, I can erase that by dragging the mouse over this without releasing it. I can also drag. I'm erasing that particular section of the circle. Again, using the graph tool on this other right side, I can erase this. So you can see I'm erasing some section that I don't want. So you can see I can drag over here, leaving us with this particular shape that we have here. Erase tool. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe and click the notification bell icon so that you don't miss our future uploads and episodes. Welcome.